This is the new Audi e-tron, and it's a little bit like CarWow because this has had a bit of a rebrand. It's now actually called the Q8 e-tron. Also, CarWow has just had a rebrand. We've given the website a few tweaks, changed the design of it, made it a little bit more efficient. A bit like what Audi has done with this Q8 e-tron. And if you want to see exactly what we've done to our website, click on the pop-out banner up there or the link in the description below to go to the rebranded CarWow website and let me know in the comments what you think about it. Now in this video, I'm going to talk you around the exterior of this car, the interior, explain the changes that have been made to it, and of course, I'm going to drive the thing, which will include me launching it to see how quick it is from 0 to 60 miles an hour. I'm Matt Watson and you're watching CarWow Rebranded. We're going to start off this video by playing a little game of spot the difference between this revised Audi Q8 e-tron and the old e-tron. I've put the lights on so you can see them because they are very stylish, the tail lights. Can you see any difference to the previous car? No, nor me. Oh, that's different obviously, Q8. And I think this lower part of the bumper is as well. Obviously, this being the S version, it's a bit more sporty with this fake diffuser thing going on. Moving down the side, they have given the car some new alloy wheel designs and they range from 20 inches to 22. These are the ones in the middle, the 21s. So this is the Sportback model, which has a sloping coupe-like roofline. And I can never quite decide which one I prefer, the standard car or this. This looks less SUV-like and more just, well, if I move out of shot, it could just be a normal hatchback. It's only when you have me for reference that it looks like an SUV because it's quite tall. Okay, moving down the front. There is one change. Here's a previous car. See the difference? It's the grille. And it's also got like these little hexagonal shapes in it, which are almost a mimic of the actual grille itself. Not sure if I prefer this or the old design. Anyhow, as far as I can tell, the headlights are pretty much the same as they were. Overall, it's quite a good looking car, but it's also quite an expensive car. Prices start from just over £69,000. You have to pay around an extra £2,000 for the Sportback model over the standard Q8 e-tron. And this SQ8 e-tron, that starts from £97,000. Through CarWow, you can save an average of about £1,000. Now, if you want to make sure you're paying a fair price for your next car, you can compare a wide range of offers from dealers through CarWow. And you can also sell your current car through CarWow as well. And dealers all across the country will bid on it in an online auction. CarWow really is the place to go to change your car because it's easy and completely free. Now, if you want to do that now, click on the pop-out banner up there for the link in the description below. Alternatively, you can do it at a later date by simply Googling "Help Me CarWow" and we will help you change your car. Here on the inside, Audi has made even fewer changes. Apparently, all they've done is just added a few new trims. I think maybe this on the dash and some of the inlays somewhere. Other than that, exactly the same as before. Now, entry-level models get normal seats, then every other model gets sport seats, but the S model gets these super sport seats, which are super. They're lovely. General build quality in here is lovely, to tell you the truth. Everything feels expensive. The only thing that doesn't is this. I have to move the steering wheel myself. You feel that on a car that is this expensive, should be electrically operated, that steering column, just like the seats are. In terms of the overall layout, it's pretty simple to use everything. However, the heat controls are in this screen here, which aren't as easy to operate as actual physical buttons. The infotainment system itself is fairly logical, though the graphics are a bit dark. A bit dark, isn't it? However, you're just going to plug in your phone and it'll run Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, both of which are wireless. You've got this big digital driver's display. Once again, a little bit on the dark side, but generally very, very clear. And you can change your view to big DARs or small DARs and more information. In terms of storage, a little bit under there. Quite a lot in here. It's got wireless charging there for the mobile phone, and you've got a 12-volt socket plus 2 USB-Cs. Actually, I think they may be new. I think it just had normal USBs in the past. Then you have a glove box, which is actually quite large, and door bins, which are also very large. Could somebody get me a big bottle, please, to illustrate the door bins properly? Bear with us. He's running. Look, he's running. Shows willing. Where is he? Here he comes, he's running again. Apparently there's no big ones. Plenty of room in there. What else do you need to know? Yeah, decent sized vanity mirror, and the driving position is generally pretty good. The only thing that's a bit weird is this big thing here, the drive selector. There, you rock that backwards and forwards to make the car go backwards and forwards. Insightful. Here in the back of the Q8 e-tron, there is loads of knee room, and headroom's really good as well, even with this sloping roof line. That's impressive. People over 6 foot will be fine back here. When it comes to carrying 3 in the back at once, there is a slight problem. If you shuffle across, you can sometimes end up banging your knee on this protruding bit, which is for the climate control here in the rear. So I have done that before and I go bang, bash my shin, and it's not very nice. And with 3 in the back at once, it does feel a little bit tight on the old shoulders. I do think that a Mercedes EQS SUV just feels a little bit better for carrying 3 in the back at once, if that's what you want to do. When it comes to carrying a baby though, well, the ISOFIX anchor points are really easy to get to. You do have to flip off the covers and you might lose them. But if you don't, then it's all well and good, because it does mean that the ISOFIX anchor points are super easy to get to. There's plenty of room back here to manoeuvre a baby seat in. And because it's spacious as well, even with the seat in its rear facing position, you don't have to put the front passenger seat forward at all. Lovely. Another thing that's lovely is this, an armrest, with the cup holders hidden so you don't end up putting your wrist in them if you're not using them. And they are here. Where are they? Come out. Reveal yourselves. Where are they? Where? They're hidden because they're not there. That's not good. Anyway, have we got through loading to make up for that? Wait, I'm sure we have. Yes, we have. Look. Yeah, that's it. That's okay. Why are there no cup holders in there? I can't get over this. It's like this was the perfect opportunity and place to put some cup holders. That could just flip down. Cup holders are there. First from Dirk. What a disappointment. Anyhow, the door bins are big. I suppose you can put your cups in there. And you've got some pockets on the seat backs which you can put your cup in. And look, down here is a 12-volt socket there for charging stuff. Where's the USB-Cs? They've updated this car and they haven't done that. They haven't put some USB-Cs in the back. That's rubbish. And they should have put a... I can't get over it, can I? Anyhow, I can't get over this either. Rear windows don't go all the way down. Few minor things just letting down the back seats of this car. Otherwise, it's pretty blooming good. Let's check out the boot. Let's actually start at the front with the fruit. Look, you've got this storage area here. Pretty useful, decent size. Although all that space is going to be taken up by your charging cable suitcase. Look, it's all your charging cables. It's crazy. Look at them in here. So, well, that's that space full. Now let's go to the back boot. The boot. Okay, let's see what we've got in here then. So, for this Sportback version, you've got luggage capacity of 530 litres. However, the SUV version has 570 litres. So 40 litres more. It's because this Sportback has a slightly steeper rake tailgate. Just eats into the room. Now there is a bit of a lip to lift things over. And also look at this, the distance from there to the end of the bumper means it's actually quite tricky to do that. It's not ideal. There is a load of extra storage under here. Look, that's really deep and you can fit stuff around where the spare wheel would be. If you don't have a spare wheel, which you don't these days really, do you? But the literage that I just talked about, I think includes this area down here. Now, if you need a lot more space, you can fold down the rear seats. But to do that, first thing I'm going to have to do is remove the load cover. And it's one of these ones which is like solid and it won't fit underneath the boot floor. And if you really want to load this up, you do have to remove this part as well, which is a little bit more of a faff than just a retractable load cover. But what's also a little bit of a faff is this. You have to lean in to fold down the rear seats. Am I getting my trousers all dirty? Yes, I'll get my trousers dirty from the lumpy bumper bit. There you go. You have a sort of flat, like load area. Kind of lost my mojo now because I've got dirty trousers. Look, you can slide things right to the front. That's not good, is it? Anyway, that brings us on to 5 annoying things about the Audi Q8 e-tron. To change driving modes on this car, you have to press these buttons down here, which actually are quite hard to get to. Also, they're not actual physical buttons, they're touch sensitive with a little bit of haptic feedback. But it's really hard when you're driving along to just go, well, where is it? You don't know, so you have to look down and take your eyes off the road, which isn't ideal. Now, in the past with Audis, you used to be able to configure the driving mode button to this button here on the steering wheel, but they've got rid of that. The only things you can configure this button to do now is a load of useless stuff, such as switch voice guidance on or off, navigation map colour day or night, traffic announcements on or off, switch between radio or media, or current voice guidance. Rubbish. While the normal version of the Q8 e-tron has roof bars, this one doesn't, and there's not even any mounting points on the roof, so you can't put a roof box on this car or a bike rack if you wanted to. The cup holders are located really deep down in this cubby, and the grippers on them are quite tight. So when you put your coffee in there and you're driving along, there is a risk that that can happen. Fortunately, this is only filled with rubbish and not hot liquid. Considering this is an expensive vehicle, you would think that you get acoustic glass in the front as standard. But you don't. You have to pay extra for that. However, that does bring on to 5 good things about this car. So you do get an acoustic windscreen, and I think this car has probably the quietest window wash function ever. Have a listen to this. Ah, that just sounds like luxury. On the left of the car, you have an AC charging port. Ta-da! And on the right, you have another charging port that does AC, DC. As with many new cars, the lane keeping assist automatically comes on whenever you drive the car. However, it's very easy to turn off on this Q8 e-tron. You just press that little button there on the indicator stalk. Simple. This S version of the Q8 e-tron has torque vectoring on the rear axle, and that means it can apply more torque to the outer wheel to help drive you round a bend. In fact, it can apply up to 220 Newton meters more on the outside wheel. And for reference, the highest performance version of the Audi A1 has a little over 220 Newton meters of torque, so quite a lot of torque to just drive you through a bend like that. Yep. You get the idea. There's Isofix on the front passenger seat, which means that it's ideal if you've got triplets or if you just want to keep your eye on your big baby while you're driving. There are 3 different versions of the Q8 e-tron. There's the 50, which has 2 electric motors and 340 horsepower, and it comes with an 89 kilowatt hour battery pack. Then there's the 55, which has 2 electric motors, but combined they put out 410 horsepower, and that has a 106 kilowatt hour battery pack and is capable, Audi says, of a range of up to 340 miles. It's the longest range version. Then there's the SQ8, which is the high performance version with 3 electric motors, 2 on the rear axle, 1 on the front, and that has 500 horsepower. Then there's the 2 body styles, the Sportback version or the normal SUV. When it comes to charging, the 50 can charge at 150 kilowatts, whereas the 55 and the SQ8 can charge at 170 kilowatts on a DC charger. As standard, you get 11 kilowatt AC charging, but you can pay extra to get 22 kilowatt AC charging, and I suggest you do that. Right, let's see what this Audi Q8 e-tron is like to drive, starting off within town. So I've got it set up into comfort mode. However, this being the SQ8, it has slightly stiffer, firmer suspension than the standard car. So you do get a slight rocking effect when you get over bumps, but generally the air suspension does a really good job of just making it feel like you're smoothing out the road surface. And it should be able to do that because it's as heavy as a steamroller. You know, it's 2.6 tons. It's a right old brute, this thing. However, it's actually doesn't feel very heavy to steer because the steering is nice and light. It's reasonably maneuverable as well, turning circle of 12.2 meters, which is better than a BMW iX, FYI. However, I think I've got this one all wrong. Have I? Can I make it round? Well, I'm going to use my cameras. Press that button and I can see, look, actually loads of room. Now the surround view camera is optional. You just get reversing camera and a set of parking sensors, but it's really helpful. Can you see? I can tell if I can make it round here. And the important thing is, look how, oh, gamble, Watson, gamble, got it. The important thing is, look how easy it is for me to just control the accelerator. You can really control the power. When you think that this particular car has 500 horsepower, how easy it was then to just slowly creep forward makes it so easy to drive in town. You really do feel in control of it. And the brakes help with that as well. So sometimes in electric cars, they can feel a little bit odd and artificial, whereas these, very natural. They are quite sharp though, so they do take a bit getting used to, so you don't, like make everyone feel a bit sick by stamping on them too much. But once they're ingrained into your brain, it's all very, very, very easy to control, just as you want it to. I'm not sure that I'd go for the SQ8 with its stiffer suspension if you're doing a lot of town work. Like, it does round the edges off the bumps, but it does just feel a little bit rocky at times. And that's it in comfort mode as well. But overall, pretty nice. The only thing is rear visibility. On this Sportback, the back window's smaller and you've got some thick rear pillars as well, which do create blind spots. It's a shame because otherwise visibility is pretty good in this car. I mean, this pillar isn't too thick, so it's not that bad in terms of blind spots. The door mirrors are good. Do not get the cameras instead of the door mirrors, because then you have to look down there to see what's actually next to you. It's just pointless. And of course, you've got that raised driving position that gives you a good view forward. Yeah, this is a nice, easy car to drive around town and very quiet. Really insulates you from the outside. So if there's like roadworks and stuff like that, people playing their stereo out there, car with their windows down, yeah, just keeps you separate from all of that nonsense. Now, I've been driving with the car in comfort mode, so that's the suspension in its softest setting. I'm going to go ahead and put it in auto mode, which lets the car just figure out what to do with the suspension and everything else, depending on the driving conditions, how you're driving, and various other parameters. I hate the way I have to look down there to press this button. It's just ridiculous. Right, there we go. Now I can also pull on this lever here to put the car into like sports mode, where it'll give you some boost when you put your foot down. So there's that or that. Now let me just try it. So if I floor it like that, it felt pretty quick. Let's try it with boost. Yep, I can't tell the difference. Like, I can literally not tell the difference. But I'm going to find out if there is a difference a little bit later. Okay, so bear with me for that. When I launch it, we'll find out. But most of the time, you're probably just going to be driving with it not in S. And we'll see what the pickup's like if you suddenly need to overtake in a second. Not overtake in a second I will show you. Okay, here we are at 40 miles an hour, dual carriageway. I'm going to punch it. And that's up to speed. Easily quick enough. Now, I'm travelling at this speed, I can tell a couple of things. A little bit of road noise. It's actually worse in the SQ8 because you've got chunkier, sportier tyres, and a little bit of wind flutter from just up there. Other than that, it's super relaxing and comfortable. Seats are good and supportive. The suspension feels really nice now. I'm going quickly, just ironing out the bumps. Feels solid on the road. There is one thing that I'm not so impressed with though. It's the economy, or should I say efficiency. So this thing is averaging 2.3 miles per kilowatt hour. When you multiply that out by the size of the battery, that gives you a real world range of just over 240 miles. Now Audi does say that this SQ8 version will only do 280 miles, so it's getting 88% of its claimed range, which is good, though considering the size of the battery and the energy usage, it's really not that good. A Tesla Model X will go further. And if you want to see my full in-depth video review of that car, click on the pop-out banner up there or follow the link in the description below. Finally then, let's try this thing out on a twisty road. So let's go into dynamic mode. Audi, what are you doing with this stupid button location? Anyway, here we go. I've got added weight to the steering, the suspension is firmer, and I'm noticing it's a little bit more jiggly, but it's not terrible. Once again, it feels expensive the way it goes down the road. Right, here comes a corner. How does it cope? Wait. Actually grips all right. It does, it grips quite well. If you're doing the speed limit, it's more than up to the job. But then I think so too is a standard car. So I've got to wonder whether it's worth having this S version. Stays nice and flat in the bends, and that four-wheel drive traction just fires you out of them. Do you know what I'm going to actually do? I'm going to go back into comfort mode. Let's go comfort, not even auto, let's just go into comfort. It doesn't turn in quite so well in comfort mode, but it does deal with the bumps better. In fact, I do think overall this suspension is very sophisticated. Makes it feel like a luxury vehicle. However, I don't think it's quite as good as the suspension in the BMW iX. That's even more cosseting. And if you want to see my full in-depth video review of that car, click on the pop-out banner up there, follow the link in the description below. I think I'd just drive it like this. Stick it in comfort and just be more relaxed. And that begs the question once again, why bother with the SQ8 e-tron? Just get the normal one. Oh, there might be a reason. Let's do the thing. Audi says that the SQ8 e-tron will do 0 to 60 miles an hour in 4.5 seconds. So I'm going to see what the reality is by timing it with my specialist timing gear. Now I'm going to launch it in auto mode without the boost. And then we're going to see what happens when I do it with the boost. Will it go quicker? Let's bear in mind that it's a little bit wet on the road, so I might not do the time they suggest, but here we go. absolutely no tire slip, it just picked up perfectly. There's my time. 4.73 when I have it in just auto mode without the boost function. Now I'm going to put it into auto with the boost function. Will it make a difference? That felt quicker. And indeed it was, 4.36. So while you don't notice it when you're just driving normally, when you launch the car, you do notice the difference. Now I'm going to try it in dynamic mode to see if there's any difference between dynamic mode and just normal auto, but with the boost function with S. Oh yeah, this is so exciting. That actually struggled for traction a bit more there, I think, because the suspension is stiffer, but I was wrong. 4.3. So it looks like the driving modes do make a difference. I actually thought that being stiffer, it wouldn't put down its power so well because it wouldn't be able to sit down on itself. That makes sense. But I was wrong. What do I know? Don't watch any of my video reviews ever again. They're all just made up. Actually, do please watch my videos again. They're not all made up. I do just sometimes make the odd mistake. I'm just human, you know. Not perfect. So then, what's my final verdict on the Audi Q8 e-tron? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, in the case of this S version, I'd say avoid it. It's not really worth the extra money. You don't need the added performance. For the rest of the range though, I think you should shortlist it. It is a good all-round electric SUV. I hope you'll enjoy the video. If you did, give it a like. Let me know what you think of my verdict in the comments below. Click on those windows there for some more videos, and on that box there to go to CarWow to change your car the easy way. Remember, it's completely free.